Hey, this is Barry with Cold Creek Nurseries, and today we're going to talk a little bit about Bermuda grass. There's different kinds of Bermuda grasses. You have the common Bermuda, coastal Bermuda, and then we have our dwarf Bermudas. Usually here in residential areas, we put sod down that is a type of dwarf hybrid Bermuda, and that comes in sod, and that's usually what residential turf is about, like this turf here. There's common Bermuda, that's more really for very large fields, sometimes in horse paddocks, and coastal Bermuda as well, which is even larger than that. Those are taller varieties. Most of what we're going to talk about though is the residential type of Bermuda grass, because we keep it mowed much shorter. What we like to do with Bermuda grass, usually in March here in the CSRA, try to scalp that down and remove all of the debris. Give it quite a buzz cut. And then once that is accomplished, that could be an inch or a little less. Once that's accomplished, we want you to move your mower up one notch from there, from the scalp level. That way, when you go, if you scalp it down to here, the next time you mow, you're just tipping the green leaves as you go across the top here, instead of going back down and creating little round scalp areas. When you go back to mow again, they look like little green alien crop circles. If you have Bermuda grass, you know what I'm talking about, because it's happened to you. Also, having bumps in your lawn will create where your mower will bite down into the Bermuda, and you have these brown half arcs where it bit down too deep down into the stem. The stem of the Bermuda grass plant is kind of like a palm tree. It's the ugly brown trunk part, and we love palm trees. They have a great big beautiful green fronds on top, and that's what Bermuda has, is beautiful green leaf tissue at the top of the stem. And we cut that all off, we're just looking at this ugly stem. So that's what happens when we bite too deep into the Bermuda grass. So top dressing will help level out those spots, and we'll have another video about top dressing. Bermuda grass, for the most part, it just loves sunlight, it loves fertilizer, and it usually just does really great if it gets enough sunlight fertilizer. We do recommend you mow it once a week. It can really get, that stem can get ahead of you, and then you're back to scalping it if you're waiting too long to mow. We like to see most of these dwarf Bermudas maintained at about 1.5 inches tall, maybe 1 inch to 1.5 inches. We get into summer months, it's okay to lift your mower up one more notch at the first day of summer and keep it that tall for the rest of the year. Some issues that we deal with Bermuda grass, number one seems to me to be shade. If there's a lot of shade, it's gonna fade away on you, and you probably should just expand your bed when that's happening. It's very inexpensive to expand a bed, or if it's an area that just needs a different grass type that's more shade tolerant, that could be an option for you. Bermuda grass can get a few different diseases. One of the diseases that we see in spring is called spring dead spot. This is where some spring dead spot has attacked this Bermuda grass. We had a very wet winter, and that's usually when this happens. Here's another spot here. Here's one of the larger areas that you would see, almost like a dinner plate size. Best thing to do is top dress that with black cow. There is some preventative fungicides that can help with that. I don't recommend homeowners to play with pesticides. Rather you call a professional to try to handle that for you when you're dealing with pesticides. It can get another disease called dollar spot, and this is basically, you'll see these little spots in the lawn about this size, the size of a silver dollar, which is how it originally got its name. As you can see, it looks like a cheetah skin on the lawn. Usually when the temperatures are between 90 and 70 and we get a lot of rain is when you can see that pop up. Usually we just throw fertilizer at it and it just outgrows that issue. But sometimes if it stays rainy, then we may have to think about getting a fungicide involved. There's a summer disease when it gets really, really hot. It's called Pythium blight. And that one can really, it'll almost look like someone took a blowtorch to your lawn. And that's because the grass is wet for long periods of time when it's really, really hot outside. So one way to shut that disease down is to make sure you're not watering when it's hot outside. You want to have all your watering done by sun up if you can. If you're having issues with your Bermuda grass and maybe it fits the descriptions I gave you, maybe it somehow outside of that box of ailments or maladies, I probably can still help you with it. Give me a call at Cold Creek Nurseries. My number is 803-646-9065.